This is the Beast Mode Developments YouTube channel. So welcome. Welcome guys. So we've got Peter's van in front of me now. As I was saying before, Peter reached out to me quite a while back when I first started the business in order to get a Beast Mode Caddy built for himself due to traveling restrictions and stuff like that to do with COVID. We never actually got round to getting to build a van for Peter. He's been an absolute amazing supporter and friend throughout the whole time Beast Mode has been running, and he actually flew out for the opening day just to be here. So he flew out from Ireland, and that to me was a very, very big thing. So thank you again, Peter, for that. And what we done was we made some plans. He wanted a load of work done, so he booked it in. We've had it booked in for a cam belt, water pump, timing chain, cam follower, walnut blast, runner flap delete kit, and some tuning as well. So the van's now here, and I took it apart the other week to actually have a look into doing the timing chain, and I found some pitting on, go for it. So I found some pitting on Peter's camshafts, which I'll show you now. Some pretty aggressive pitting on his camshafts. That's better. Can you focus? Can we focus, please? So I can't really get to focus, but yeah, as you can see, I found some pitting on his camshafts, and I did say to him, I said, Peter, look, I don't like the look of the pitting. Personally, I would recommend changing them. So what I done was I put it back together and decided, look, we're gonna get some new camshafts. So I managed to find these lovely CDL camshafts, and I went off and got them polished the other day. I started stripping the engine down the other day, and as I pulled the camshafts out, I realized that the head was really badly scored. So I'm not sure how well you can see there. The GoPro doesn't like focusing too much, but we've got some pretty bad scoring here. We've got 2 or 3 scores here, and we've got a couple more on this side. So I did then say to Peter, you know, it's not good what I found. Your head is scored, and we are going to need to do some more investigating. And by the way, this was after I started walnut blasting it, so we've got very clean valves there. So I spent a couple of hours walnut blasting, which is a bit irritating, but you know, it is what it is. So we had the conversation. I said, look, what we're going to need to do now is drop the oil, drop the sump, drop the balance shaft, and have a look at your conrod caps, so your big end bearings, and see what we find. And this time, which obviously I wasn't happy about, but you know, it's good that we do this sort of thing. We can see slight scoring on number 1. Number 2 looks okay. Number 3 is the worst one. We've got quite a bit of scoring on number 3, and you can feel it, it's quite aggressive. And number 4 looks okay. So next port of call, I need to take the caps off of the crankshaft just to make sure that they're not scored. But at this point, we're going to be forging the engine. I had a conversation this morning with Peter for about half an hour, and he said it's the Beast Mode slogan basically now. There's never problems, only solutions. So what we're going to do is going to tear this engine apart. We're going to pull it out, take the gearbox off, and we are now going to begin forging this engine. Give it a good clean up, change the head because the head's damaged, and yeah, basically we're going to get Peter's van to the moon. We're going to send it. So that's where we're at now. Bit of an update for you guys. Yeah, here we are. As you can see now, we have got the engine out of the van. Van is on the stands, engine is on the floor. Let me find my torch. I'm going to show you guys. It's literally, it almost feels that one thing after the other that we find. Pull some more stuff off and find some more damage. This is the Helix Auto Sport clutch setup. We know that he had issues regarding his clutch because I bled it up quite a few times and it kept dropping. So potentially crank walk on this. Potentially, you can see it's been grinding away on the actual outside of the cover. And if you look inside, it's nice and shiny on those bits. So I'm going to pull the gearbox away. I've also noticed some other bits, like this is loose itself. The bolt is tight. Well, I think the bolt is tight, but if you look around the edges of that, you can see movement. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get the gearbox out of the way, get the clutch off, get the engine back up in the air and start setting up the engine crane so that we can get the engine on the, not the engine crane, sorry, the engine on the stand. I've also had a quick wiggle of the turbo, and it has got a bit of play there. Yeah, it's got quite a bit of wiggle in that turbo. It's not ridiculous. I've seen a lot worse, but you know, not great as usual. So I'm going to pull all of the bits out now, get the stand out, and get this engine on the stand. Bear in mind, we're not reusing these, so don't ever do this if you're reusing any of the bits. Do not use metal bars on conrods or anything else in the engine that you might be needing to put back in. And this is number 4, which is a little bit of wear. Don't know if you can see that, but it's mainly on the center of the bearing. And then next out of this will be the crank. So I have to take off all of these caps, keep them in orientation, as in front to back and whichever is whichever. There we go. Lovely that is. That's bloody lovely that. There we go, nice and easy. So that's off now, and crank should be free now. So what I'll do, I'll go and set up another cloth around the side, and we'll pull this out. It's funny as well because these cranks are a lot heavier than you'd actually expect them to be. Okay, so now we've got the engine fully stripped. Pistons are out, conrods are out, cranks out, and all the shells, the caps, the bearings. You can see here, number 3 on the conrod was the worst. The bearing cap on number 3 was the worst. Number 4 is not so bad. Number 1's got slight scoring but nothing major. I need to now clean up the crank and see what it looks like on the facing, on the mating face of the crank where the shells go. And yeah, see what we can do. Right, so this is where we're at now. We've got the engine 90% stripped. There's a couple little sensors there, dipstick tube and a couple brackets and oil/water lines there. We've got oil filter housing off, the bracket for the alternator and starter motors off, alternators off, wire and looms off, and the other pipe work. Thermostat housing there. What's that one? That's another temperature sensor housing, I believe, and a vacuum pipe. So yeah, now that I've got all of these bits off, ideally I need to go out and get a clear box like one of these, fairly big one, just so I can throw all of the bits in like that. I think that's oil cooler there, and some of these other bits. So we're going to upgrade this. We're going to go for a uprated rear main seal, lower crank pulley. Ooh, lower crank pulley, that's got to go back into the box somewhere safe with oil lines and other stuff. I did speak with Peter on the phone yesterday. Trip hazard there. I did speak with Peter on the phone yesterday, and he's actually delighted with the progress that I've made on his van so far, regardless of the situation that we're in. As he said, no problems, only solutions. So the solution to this issue is forge his engine. Basically, he's going to get more power. We're at the point where he needed a full rebuild anyway. So I was talking to him about turbo setup and stuff like that last night. Not sure whether he wants to go for a big turbo and that, but this turbo, it's not got a great amount of play, but in my opinion there's enough play there for the turbo to either be rebuilt or replaced, and Peter wants to go for some big power, so it would kind of make sense if we went for a big turbo setup or something like that. But we need to get this engine finished first, so we'll finish building this engine, run the engine in, and then, you know, decide with Peter what route he wants to go down. Does he want to go massive turbo? Because we are going to end up four-wheel driving this van eventually. Let the cat out of the bag there. Peter's van's probably going to be one of the first vans to come in for a four-wheel drive conversion when I have everything set up, when all the pieces of the puzzle are in place. Because I do want to offer four-wheel drive setups to people. I think it does make sense when you've got silly power to be running four-wheel drive. So yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. Next video you'll see will probably be a video of me building this engine back up, or the engine already being built and it is in one piece. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's been something different this time round, and the previous video to this was like an update on the workshop and stuff. So I hope you guys like what you see. You know, it's not the cleanest place at the moment, but I do try to keep on top of things. Obviously I've still got a lot of mess here, cardboard and stuff. I do a bit of recycling, so trying to help the environment, you know. But yeah, that's it, baby. Beast Mode Developments HQ. Anyway guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, all of the above, all of the below, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.